Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon here tonight. It is Wednesday, September 30th, 2021. Joseph, it's actually the 29th. My apologies. September 29th, 2021. There you go. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. So, um, really enjoyable show tonight, I thought. I thought tonight was a good show. I enjoyed the 2 hours. I thought the best thing on the show, the opening match. Fantastic match between Jungle Boy and Adam Cole. You just knew those guys were going to tear the house down. They had Rochester on their feet. You had the Brodie Lee stuff with the Dark Order, which, I mean, there was a 16-man tag, but I mean, just the story of that match was beautiful. I loved it. And then the ending, Sammy, that was really in the middle of the show. So you had a fantastic beginning, a great middle, and a happy ending with Sammy Guevara winning the TNT Championship from Miro. Even though I've been saying that Miro should be the champion going into next year, after that angle that they did on Friday, I did not think Miro was winning that championship. I was retaining that title at all tonight. So, and really, I mean, Sammy's deserving of that title. He's a definition of a homegrown talent. I think he's been there since literally the first Dynamite. He was the first official match on Dynamite, and just to see him grow these past 2 years. It's been awesome, and I'm really happy for him, man. So, based off the beginning, the middle, and the end, I thought tonight was a really good show. But Wes, what is up, man? It's been a week. There was no Rampage review on Friday as I was out busy. So, how are you doing? It's been a week. This is the week after that incredible Grand Slam show last week.
Yeah, man, great show tonight. Fortunately, there was no Rampage review on Friday, but that's okay because we're back here talking about AEW Dynamite live tonight at Rochester, New York, the home of Mr. Brodie Lee. Rest in peace, Brodie Lee. A beautiful tribute tonight in that 16-man tag team match. Normally, I would crap on 16-man tag team matches, but since it was in honor of Brodie Lee tonight and the story we saw within that match, I thought it was a beautiful tribute, and I thought there was no better way to pay tribute to the greatest TNT champion of all time. And again, yeah, I mean, the opening, the middle, the end, like you said, Joseph, I mean, it was just amazing through and through. I mean, 2 hours flew by in the best way, like they always do with AEW Dynamite every single Wednesday night. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself once again. AEW knocked it out of the park, I thought, and we got a new champion tonight as well. So, I mean, everything's looking great to be all elite at this point in time.
Yeah, I'll put it at this. Tonight's show is basically like going out to dinner. You go out to dinner, you start off with the appetizer, all right? You get the appetizer going, you get the little filler in there, having a drink or whatever. The meal comes out, which is the middle of of going out to eat, and then the ending, the dessert. Boom. That's what basically that's the most simplest way I could put tonight's show, I think.
Yeah. I mean, well, no better analogy, really. I mean, you got the appetizer, the entree, and then the dessert. I mean, that's the kind of great meal you get with AEW Dynamite. It fills your stomach with great professional wrestling, whether it's Dynamite or Rampage or even Darker Elevation. AEW is delivering the goods with their content, and it's wonderful to see. Joseph, I can't wait to talk about this show. We got a lot to talk about. We got a great card set up this Friday for Rampage, and we got an awesome card set up next week with AEW Dynamite live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they're going to be. We'll talk about that card. They're going to be in Philly next week. I know a lot of people that are going to be at that show. Since I usually go to the Philly shows all the time, so I know those people are going to bring it next week. We'll talk about that lineup when we get to it. But folks, before we get into tonight's festivities with Dynamite, if you have not already, be sure to go check out. I think there was only like 3 videos last week. Last week was really a not so busy week, and I'm trying to keep it that way because October starting next week, it's going to be absolutely loaded here on the channel. So go ahead and check out last week's Grand Slam review, and then the reaction for my Miami Dolphins taking a heartbreaking loss to the Las Vegas Raiders this past Sunday. You're a football fan, right?
Oh, dude, I've been participating in the FanDuel. I could have won nearly 11 grand this week, but a few games didn't go my way. I did a 15-leg parlay, so it's unfortunate for myself. But I think next week I'm going to do the 10-game parlay, see what I do there. But I thought I'd go big or go home. Go big like the Go Big Show, which stars Cody Rhodes, by the way. He's plugging a lot of shows these days. So.
You're a Colts fan, right?
Colts fan, yeah. I mean, I'm not. I would say these days I'm not as passionate of a Colts fan as I used to be when Peyton Manning was on the team. Because Peyton Manning's my guy. That's my favorite player of all time, man. Love me some Peyton Manning. So, but I mean, I still like the Colts, but I mean, probably not a lot these days, man. Knowing that they're still one of the winless teams in the league, but I kind of float around to different teams sometimes. I mean, I like the Steelers, I like the Patriots. I like a few different teams.
Well, they're about to be 0-4 this week after the Dolphins hopefully kick their ass. So.
Well, best of luck to you and your Miami Dolphins. I wish you the best. So,
thank you. We're talking about football here. Let's get into
talk about wrestling. We got to talk about wrestling, man.
Sure. So, the show opened up with the pyro crowd immediately starts chanting Brodie. Absolutely awesome. So the start of the show is crowd chanting Brodie in Rochester. CM Punk comes out to a huge reaction. He did commentary the entire night tonight. He did not get attacked this week. He did not get attacked this week. He did it the entire night. And then Adam Cole Bay came out. And I realized tonight because I watched highlights of Rampage for Friday night. I realized tonight that I heard it wasn't that loud, but I heard the crowd singing his theme song, man. His theme song slaps hard, man. It really does.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's number one on the iTunes top 100 metal songs. I mean, who better than Adam Cole, man? I mean, come on, that theme song is a banger. I mean, everybody's still talking about how great of a theme song is. Mikey Ruckus, you sir, did a wonderful job with that theme song. I have to give you praise, man. You were doing some wonderful stuff with that AEW music. But yeah, man, what a phenomenal opening match this was. I mean, Adam Cole, Jungle Boy, recipe for success, if you ask me. I mean, this is just one of the many dream matches. I can't remember who it was talking about it. I think it might have been Jericho who recently brought it up. He said now with all these new additions to the roster and you got all this talent here, you got probably like hundreds and hundreds of dream matches still to come with AEW. I mean, Adam Cole and Jungle Boy is just one of the many dream matches that we are set to get, man. And honestly, we're going to see this match probably again in the near future, probably for a title at some point. But man, we got it one-on-one, non-title tonight. And I don't know if you watched the road to AEW Dynamite Rochester, but we had some story time with Adam Cole, baby. And my goodness, is it wonderful to see story time with Adam Cole again. If you gotta go check it out, man, if you haven't already. But man, Adam Cole just putting himself over and not being shy about putting Jungle Boy over as well. But Adam Cole at the end of the day, he's makes Jungle Boy aware that I'm the better wrestler here. I am the future of professional wrestling, and Adam Cole seemed to have proven that in that first match. Even if he did use some underhanded tactics, he did put on a phenomenal showing with Jungle Boy, man. And let me tell you, that one spot in the match, I want to bring up one spot in the match, that Hurricane Rana by Jungle Boy to Adam Cole onto the outside. My goodness, a thing of freaking beauty. And that ending sequence between those two men was just chef's kiss. I mean, you wouldn't ask for a better sequence than that. And man, I mean, again, we're going to get many more amazing matchups with these two guys and many more amazing matchups with so many other talent in AEW. AEW literally, I'd say, has the most stacked roster in all professional wrestling at this point. I mean, you look at all the talent from start to bottom, from A to Z, it is just miles long of just amazing talent they have, whether it's the male roster or the female roster. I mean, they got some incredible talent, man, and it's just going to get better from here.
So I'm going to talk about towards the end of the match. We're going to build our way up to the segment that happened after. So the point that things really started to get going, like the pace was great. I thought I loved the pacing. It was not fast the entire match. Slow down. Very nice for what would you say they went about 15 minutes?
I think they went about 20. I was looking at my clock. I think it was about 7:20 when the match had ended.
Oh, okay. So, well, it started around like 8:05 my time. So,
So
yeah,
yeah, I guess 15 to 20.
yeah.
Hey, give me 30 minutes, give me 60 minutes of these guys. I don't care. Give me this match all freaking night.
So, what happens here is Cole is going for the Panama Sunrise outside of the ring. Jungle Boy ducks, and he gives him a drop kick, I think, and then he goes inside the ring to do his dive, and Adam Cole Pele kicks like he Insuguri, my bad. He gives Jungle Boy an Insuguri, and then he goes into the ring. I figured Jungle Boy does his Hurricane Rana. That thing, like you said, that thing was absolutely beautiful, man. I mean, it was smooth. I thought Jungle Boy hurt his knee. I saw him clutch his knee. I got worried, but he got right back up, and he jumped off the bottom rope like with one of his feet. Freaking Adam Cole cleared the floor with him with a super kick right in the face. I really thought, I freaking like jumped up when I saw that. I'm like, whoa! And then massive Panama Sunrise. I thought that was it. Jungle Boy kicked out, and then they're fighting back and forth. Adam Cole is hugging Aubrey. Jungle Boy is behind Adam Cole. Adam Cole does a low blow. Uh, he hits the shot. That's what Adam Cole. That's what Excalibur called it. He called it the shot. I'm gonna call it the last shot just because I know that more. So he hits the last shot on Jungle Boy, and he wins the match. And listen, I thought the ending protected Jungle Boy. Why did I think the ending protected Jungle Boy in this case? Because Adam Cole had to cheat to beat a guy like Jungle Boy, and it really goes to show you, like, commentary is putting over how he never gives up and he's a scrappy underdog babyface. So they really put that over. I like it, and I had no problem with the finish. They protected Jungle Boy, and it was great. It was a fantastic match, and we led to the next segment. The Elite came out. Out of all people, they got Carl Anderson cutting a promo. I think it's the first time I heard Carl Anderson cut a promo on AEW television. So he puts over all the members of the Elite. Brandon Cutler takes the mic. This freaking stooge takes the mic. Nick Jackson tells him to shut up. And then Omega, I think Nick Jackson has the mic, and he says, "Are you guys ready to hear the greatest promo of all time?" And then he gives them the mic to Nakazawa, and he had no idea what he was gonna say. I freaking laughed my ass off at that. That shit was funny. And then this Omega takes the mic away from him, and he's like, "I've heard all week on my social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram." He says, "Heck, even MySpaces." So, I mean, I don't use MySpace. Do you?
Yeah, and probably in the past like what maybe 13 years I haven't used MySpace. Yeah, that's it's a bit outdated. For those who are old enough to remember MySpace, yeah, we probably should check ourselves in the nursing homes at this point. It's pretty ancient stuff there. But hey, Kenny Omega's trending on MySpace, man. You love to see it. I mean, if anybody's going to trend on MySpace, who better than the greatest world champion in all of the world, you know?
And then this brings out Danielson, and Danielson's first thing that he says is, "Who wants to see a rematch between Ryan Danielson and Kenny Omega?" He says, "They do, but you don't." And this is when he says, "You got no balls," and all that stuff. And he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Kenny No Balls Omega." And the crowd starts chanting, "Kenny No Balls." The crowd starts chanting, "Kenny No Balls. Kenny No Balls." That I guarantee you that's gonna be a shirt on AEW shop tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Friday. That's absolutely going to be a shirt on an AEW shop, man. I mean, that friggin' Bryan Danielson got the crowd to chant Kenny No Balls. My God.
I might have to buy that shirt if it actually does go on sale, man. I
You're
mean,
buying all the shirts now.
I'm buying all the shirts. Hey, and get this, my Colin Danielson shirts finally shipped, and I should be getting them within the next couple of days. So I'm very excited about that. Getting more AEW shirts. AEW, they really are a T-shirt company because they really know how to sell them T-shirts, don't they? But they do way more than T-shirts. They also give you great professional wrestling on a weekly basis.
So that was the segment. Segment was pretty good. And this set up, he didn't talk to Danielson, but later on in the night they announced that Bryan Danielson is going to go one-on-one with Nick Jackson today. Meltzer said last night that they're going to announce a big match Friday on Rampage. Andrew Zarian followed that up today by saying Bryan Danielson and Nick Jackson is more than likely happening Friday. And here we go. We got a classic waiting upon us on Friday night. I can't wait, man. Nick Jackson is so good. I mean, we don't see him a lot as a single star because obviously the Young Bucks, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what Danielson can do with a quote unquote tag team wrestler in Nick Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, this Friday is going to be absolutely phenomenal. That match added to the card. I mean, folks, if you've been watching AEWs for as long as Joseph and I have, go all the way back to the early days of AEW. Go back, I believe it was early November of 2019. Go back and watch Nick Jackson going one-on-one with Rey Fenix. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. One of the greatest AEW Dynamite matches of all time. 2 years later to this day, I mean, that is just one of the most phenomenal, one-on-one matches I think I've ever seen. And folks, I mean, seriously, do yourself a favor sometime before Rampage this Friday night. Go back and watch that match because I'm telling you, it's going to get you really prepared for what you're about to witness with Nick Jackson and Bryan Danielson this Friday night. We are in for a real treat on a late night this Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get into Rampage more for Friday's show later on in the review, but we're going to move on here. We got Matt Sydal and Dante Martin. I love that they're giving this kid more TV time. Really, I think the more he's on television, the better. And I can't wait for Darius to come back, man. I just want to say that before we get into the match.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more Dante Martin on television, the better, man. I love that Tony Khan has noticed how over Dante's talents have really gotten him with the crowd, and I love that they just keep bringing him out there, putting him on Dynamite, putting him on Rampage. Even I mean, it's just so cool to see. And again, this guy's 20. The guy's only 20 years old, and I mean, he's one of the biggest high flyers I think right now in current professional wrestling. Man, I mean, he really does give me massive vibes of Ricochet when I see him in that ring, man. I mean, a guy that young doing the stuff that he's doing, man. I mean, I can't even imagine what it'll look like in 5, 10, 15 years from now. I mean, it's he hadn't even hit his prime yet, and he's already one of the most phenomenal talents on the roster. But yeah, man, people I think are forgetting too. Like, yeah, he has a brother that's also just as amazingly talented. And once he gets back, once we see Top Flight get back into tag team action together, man, we're going to be in for a real treat with a lot of great tag team matches in the future.
And Martin and Sydal went up against Big Shotty, Lee Johnson, and Cody Rhodes, who, I mean, it's every week now. Listen, I love Cody. I think Cody's great. I think Cody is being overexposed. And I know he just came back, but last week we saw it. We saw the Marvel superhero entrance with the cape. I don't think he had the cape this week, but he freaking had that gear, and he had all the pyro. Man, I mean, it's just I feel I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. I might get heat for saying this, but I love Cody, but right now I cringe when he comes out.
Yeah, I get what you mean, man. But I think this is all leading to a bigger picture with Cody.
Yeah.
I think we all, especially with that promo, which we'll get into the promo after the match. I think we got some seeds planted for a potential turn for Mr. Cody Rhodes.
That was bigger than the match. I thought the match was great. Yeah, I thought they had a pretty good match. Um, Again, Dante Martin is amazing. Lee Johnson is amazing. I loved their exchange. They had a great back and forth. And if you want to give me 15 minutes of them on a Rampage episode, I got no problem with that at all, man. They are two young cats in AEW, man, and they're going to be something huge in a few years, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love their exchange, and Matt Seidel, a great veteran in this business, man. I mean, there's there's somebody that the high flyers can definitely learn from, the young high flyers in this business. It's Matt Seidel. Matt Seidel, very experienced veteran in the business, man, and a guy who still moves so well. I don't know how old Matt Seidel is exactly, but I'm pretty sure he's in his mid to late 30s, and he moves around very, very crisp in the ring. And this tag team match was very fun to watch, man. The ending of the match too was very interesting, with Lee Johnson pulling Cody in, tagging himself in, and getting the win for his team. I thought that was very telling as well. I thought that added elements of a story right there with the Cody Rhodes and the Nightmare Family. And we got that big promo after the match. Joseph, do you want to take it away first, or would you rather me?
Sure. So, Cody Rhodes, he's on the microphone, and he immediately calls out Malachi Black. Malachi Black, you need to get your ass out here right now. The crowd pops big from now. This guy's over. This guy is over, man.
Yeah, pretty safe to say he's over.
Yeah. Then Arn takes the microphone. He says, Cody, you need to be quiet and shut up. Huge pop. So he cuts a promo about Malachi Black debuting, targeting the Nightmare Family. He's got all of our numbers. He didn't beat you once, he beat you twice. He said last week that you got it. And what happened? You worried about me. God damn it, don't worry about me, he said. He said, take care of your business and I'm just going to be all right. And then he said, he brought up a scenario when he said, if there's a car, if you pulled your car over to the curb and someone forced you to get out, he said Cody would just stand up and be like, okay, take it. And then if that happened to Arn would put freaking is like pretending to like put a gun on his head or something like that. And he says you wouldn't be strong enough to put the gun in the head. And it got a huge pop. And then he called Cody a loser. And that even got a bigger pop. And then Arn Anderson told Lee Johnson to come on, walk with him back. He says, at least you listen to me. And Cody is contemplating in the ring with Brandy standing on the outside. So this is clearly going to turn. It has to. It has to lead to this man turning heel. It has to. So I have a feeling we're going to get another match with Malachi Black. I do. I don't know what Malachi Black is going to do right now outside of another match with Cody, but I do think they're going to have another match. I think Malachi is going to go over for a third time, and that's going to be when he snaps. That's going to be when he's like, that's it. I'm done with this shit. Turn heel. That's my prediction of how this is going to go down. What about you?
I could see it happening like that. I personally, I'd probably rather not see another match with them two. I kind of feel like we should move past it, but I really don't know what you really would put Malachi in at this very moment. It seems like a lot of people are very occupied in their own feuds at the moment, but I do believe we are definitely getting a Cody heel turn. I mean, all signs are pointing to it right now. The fans have turned on Cody. I mean, like you said, Joseph, it's an every week thing now. I mean, the fans don't want Cody; they just don't want him, and you love Cody. I love Cody as well. I love everything he's done for the business and for AEW. But it's time that he turns a new leaf in his run in AEW, man. Nobody's going to buy into the babyface Cody Rhodes stuff anymore, man. It's time for a new chapter. And I do believe we are leading towards that. And yeah, what a promo by Arn Anderson tonight. That had been the most fiery promo I've ever seen come from Arn Anderson within his run in AEW, man. I love that analogy he used with Cody. If you were pulled over to the side of the road and some guy jacked your car, you would say, "Go ahead, take it." Meanwhile, I pull out my Glock and I point the gun right in the guy's face and blow their brains out. I mean, like, it just really took me by storm. I'm like, okay, wow, Arn is just straight up just give me like, I would kill somebody. I'm just gonna kill somebody. Like, so yeah, Arn just going off tonight, man. But I loved it. It really adds to the overall story that they're telling with Cody Rhodes at the moment. And like we're talking about, I do believe we're entering a new phase for Cody Rhodes. I do believe that we are going to see the transition into him being a heel, and man, it is going to be a wonderful transition when that happens, because we have seen how great of a heel Cody can be, and throughout the number of years he's been in this business, man, Cody can be a real dick, and I think we're really going to see those colors show from Cody Rhodes here, and I don't know when exactly it will happen, but the seeds have definitely been planted, and it's a slow build until we get to that final point.
How about this? What if he retires his older brother?
Oh, that would be something. Oh, Lord, heel Cody retiring Dustin. Man, I'll tell you, I love that idea. I really do, man. I do believe AEW could do something like that, man. I mean, we've seen Cody versus Dustin once before. It's one of the best AEW matches ever. But that was when both guys were, fighting it out. And then by the end, they hugged it out. And it was a very sentimental moment. And to take that and build it into another match, but this time Cody being a prick heel and retiring his older brother and just straight up just flipping him off and just saying, I'm better. And you're the old yeller in this whole story, and it's time to put you to rest. I mean, it's a recipe for success, if you ask me.
You'd be like, "F you, old man."
Right? Yeah, exactly. It'd just be like, like, screw you, dude. I don't need you. I don't need you. I've always been better than you anyway. And I mean, Cody, knowing how great of a promo Cody is too, man. Like, oh my Lord, he'd probably get on like MJF level of like heat when it comes to like the promo work and just the overall character work.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's a couple pitches. I really like the one that I said about retiring Dustin. I mean,
yeah,
I think that has. Heck, they could do it at. I mean, it's called long-term storytelling here, folks. They can do it at Double or Nothing 3 years from when they had their match at the first ever Double or Nothing.
Look at us doing some long-term storytelling, man. I don't even know if AEW's thought of this yet, but I feel like if AEW, somebody in AEW may be watching, they may come across this video. I mean, I think we just gave you a bit of an idea there. So TK, I mean, I don't know. If just think about it. Just think about it. So.
Bro, I'm gonna have to put this out in the Twitterverse tomorrow now.
Yeah, you do. I'll retweet it and stuff, man. We got to spread that word. We got to spread the booking ideas.
And when that happens, who's gonna take the credit for it and be like, who said it first? Us.
Me and you, really you, Joseph. I mean, you get more of the credit than myself. But hey, you know what? We'll both take partial credit. I mean, whatever you want, man. But I do believe, Joseph, you should take the full credit. I mean, you're the one who thought of the idea in the first place.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on from all the Cody stuff. I'm pretty sure we'll be talking about it next week again. We'll talk about Cody next week once again. So
yeah, we'll do a Roads to the Top review on Big Five Channel. That'll be next week, folks.
Yeah, we'll do that on Thursdays. All right.
Yeah. Every Thursday we're going to be doing Roads to the Top reviews, a special exclusive that's coming to you from the Big Five Field channel. So stay tuned.
Folks, I do football videos on Thursdays. Moving on, we had a trios match: Moxley, Kingston, and Darby Allin against Bear Country and Anthony Green. I don't know why this needed to be on the show. I mean, the baby faces won. It was fine. And the highlight of this match was Eddie Kingston taking a Brodie Lee sign from the crowd and holding it up in the ring. So, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was pretty random match thrown together. I do enjoy seeing Bear Country on my screens. I'm a big fan of Bear Country. It's cool to see them back as a tag team again. Anthony Green, he was formerly signed with the WWE. I know he was part of the big
Yeah,
releases.
was
Yeah,
that
that was.
was that his name in WWE?
I believe it was. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they changed his name. Or at least I don't think they changed his name. I mean, knowing WWE, they probably were going to change it to something, like Braun Breaker. Some of the sort. I'm sure. Yeah, just call him Green or something. I don't know. But cool opportunity for Anthony Green. I didn't get to see much of his work within WWE. I think he worked a lot of 205 Live. I do remember watching him on that Evolve 10th anniversary show that they had, that one Evolve show they had on the network because they were kind of programming AEW. Remember all that stuff. But yeah, I did watch that Evolve show. Anthony Green, I did see him compete there. I liked what he produced there. I did see him also. He was competing on this past. I don't think it was this past Tuesday's episode of Dark, but it was last week's episode of AEW Dark in the All Elite Zone. He was in one of the matches. I do believe he was in a tag match with the former Kurt Stallion against FTR. Really good tag team match for those who are avid watchers of Dark like myself. Yeah, definitely watch that match. It was definitely a highlight from that last week's episode of Dark. But anyway, the 6-man tag, yeah, it was fine for what it was. Let me tell you though, I do love the trio of Darby, Moxley, and Kingston. I think they make such a natural trio. Like when you see these three dudes together, shit's about to go down. You're about to get your ass kicked. Like there's the three dudes I would not want to mess with if I was by myself, or even if I had two other guys with me. I'd be like, this is still kind of a intimidating threat here. But I did pitch an idea on Twitter. There's all this talk about the trios titles. The trios titles are going to be coming in the future, and even the Young Bucks are teasing the trios titles in their bios, the ever changing bios on Twitter with the Young Bucks. You gotta love the Young Bucks. But here's an idea that I'm throwing out, and I threw out on Twitter. What if when you do have the trios titles contested, what if we get Moxley, Kingston, and Darby versus the Super Click, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks? Now, if you ask me, I'd say that's a damn good 6-man tag for those lovely trios titles. So, Tony Khan, I don't know if I gave you an idea. I put that out in the Twitterverse, so it's out there. Just an idea. But if you want to do it, I am all for that match happening. So,
See, man. I mean, we'll see what happens, but yeah, it looks like we're getting. I don't know. It looks like we're getting 2 new titles. We're apparently getting a TBS championship, which is going to be a women's championship. I love that idea. I love that more than the trios titles, to be perfectly honest with you, because it gives women like Red Velvet, Jade Cargill, Diamante, Anna Jay. It gives Ty Conti, Penelope Ford. It gives women like them something to fight over instead of just one title in the division. And you got Britt Baker and whoever program over the main title, and you got the other women doing nothing. Now, granted, they're having feuds like Ty Conti and Anna Jay wrapped up their feud tonight with Penelope and the Bunny. You got the feud with Nyla, Jade, and Thunder Rosa, which happened in a backstage segment, I think, and that's culminating on Friday night. So,
yeah, we're seeing more women's storylines be implemented in recent weeks with AEW, and I love to see it, man. I love that we're getting more women's storylines. It's something that when you looked at NXT and stuff, that they implemented that a lot because they had so many women on their roster that they implemented multiple women's storylines, and it worked out very well with them. And I could see this happening with AEW as well, and with more women, coming on in, and more women they're giving a chance to, like what we're seeing on Elevation and Dark. We're seeing more female talent come in and get opportunities to really show out. I actually heard the other day Kiera Hogan is officially signed with AEW. That's another signing for the women, and that's a solid pickup. Kiera Hogan made a good name for herself in Impact Wrestling, and now she's part of AEW's women's roster. I think that's a really good pickup for them. And of course, Ruby Soho being big addition to that women's roster. And so I like it, man. I like it a lot. And this Friday we got that triple threat match with Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, and Thunder Rosa. And one of those 3 women I could see being in contention for that TBS championship. I do believe we could see a tournament of sorts with this TBS championship, and And I think, I mean, you got women like Thunder Rosa, Ty Conti, Anna Jay. You have so many women on this roster that are really getting their names out there, that are, moving up the rankings, and they're really hitting their stride now in the ring. And I do believe that this is a really good idea. I like this more than introducing women's tag titles. Honestly, I think introducing like a secondary women's title, treating it at like their version of the TNT title, I'm a big fan of that. I think that fits just better personally for me. I just think that fits better than just doing women's tag titles. I think doing a secondary women's title, treating it like, an Intercontinental or TNT, championship, like another nice title for the women to fight over, and rather than just, all chasing after one title, and AEW doesn't overkill it with the titles. I mean, they still got only a few titles in the kind of, they got the AEW World title, the AEW Tag titles, the TNT title, and now a TBS Championship coming in. And then it's they're not overdoing it with these titles, and then they're giving all these titles prestige. That's the difference between AEW and a certain other company, is that they actually give these titles prestige. They actually give them meaning. The people that hold these titles have value, and then that's what you want when you're with your pro wrestling program. You don't want your champions coming out and losing non-title matches every single week and leading into a big pay-per-view match they have. That's not what you want to see. But AEW doesn't operate like that, and that's why we're so thankful for them.
Yeah, I one more. I would rather for the women. I'd rather have them have another singles title than a tag titles, because I mean, there's not really that much. There's not a true women's tag team in the AEW in the AEW women's division besides Anna Jay and Ty Conti. That's really it. And freaking look at the women's tag division in WWE, the main roster, NXT, dreadful. I don't even have to watch the shows to know that it's dreadful. Like who's the champions at the? I don't even know who the champions are.
That's the sad thing. The sad part is, like,
frankly, I don't care.
Yeah, it's the sad thing is, like, literally there's so many people that look at like WWE and they're like, wait, that person's the champion? I had no idea. Do you see that happening at all with AEW? No, because you know who the champions are, because they let you know that, because they actually are booking their champions effectively and accordingly week by week, and are making them look great and are making them look like big deals. I mean, seriously, I'm just spreading facts. It's not me trying to start a whole little war here. I'm just spreading facts. I mean, seriously, folks. I mean, how many of you out there probably legit know that, like, Charlotte Flair is Raw Women's Champion? Do you know that? Did you know that? I mean, do you know that, like, Nikki Ash and freaking Rhea Ripley are the women's tag team champions? You probably didn't know that because the product is so garbage that people
You just told me who the women's tag team champions are.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that until I saw a picture on like Twitter the other day, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's okay." That's who it is. Okay, well, I didn't know that, but I've been reminded by Twitter, so there you go. But that's the thing, man. I mean, if you would just book your champions accordingly and book them not to lose, and book them to win all the time and be made to look strong and make their opponents look strong at the same time, then you would have a great championship reign. So there you go.
Can we not talk about WWE and talk about Brodie Lee?
Yes, let's talk about Brodie Lee. Yes, the biggest man of the show tonight here. This episode in Rochester being dedicated to the one Mr. Brodie Lee. Rest in peace, Brodie Lee. We still love and think about you very much to this day. And I know AEW does as well.
So this match right here was dedicated to Brodie Lee. This match was put together because of the Dark Order honoring Brodie Lee. We had a 16-man tag team match. I mean, I was like, is this a battle royal or something? But at the end of the day, I mean, I knew why the match happened. It's because the show's in Rochester. It's in Brodie's hometown. They had to honor him in some way, and they had the signs in the poster, and the match was fine in my opinion. I really can't say a bad thing about the match. I don't remember the moves. All I remember was the Dark Order were fighting. They were fighting each other. Like Alan Angels took his mask. I think Uno took his mask off, and Uno walked out on the Dark Order, and Grayson and Cole Cabana were with him. Grayson, his tag team partner, was yelling at him. You got to get back in there. What are you doing? Cabana's yelling at him. Then -1 comes running out. I mean, this was beautiful right here. -1 comes out. Amanda Huber, Brodie's wife, comes out. Anna Jay and Ty Conti come out. So -1 throws papers at Evil Uno, and Amanda is screaming at Evil Uno. He says, "This is Brodie's hometown. This is your leader's hometown, and you're gonna walk out on your family. Who do you think you are?" And then Uno, and they got great. Everybody's yelling. Everybody's yelling at this poor guy, and he's like, "You know what? I'm going back in." So they all run back in. They hit their spots. Johnny Hungy goes crazy, and he gets the move combination between John Silver and Alex Reynolds is amazing. I love it. I love it every single time. And they are so goddamn underrated, man. They really are. And then Uno and Grayson, they they do their finisher. I think Silver got the pin. I don't remember who. I think it was Jonah Joel, I think his name is.
George Joel.
Yes. And the Dark Order got the win. -1 runs in the ring. Amanda Huber comes in. Ty Conti and Anna Jay, they come in. Orange Cassidy's just standing on the sideline. He's on the outside. He's just watching casually. And Orange Cassidy stings. And they all hug in the center of the ring. And really what I was like, wow, that is freaking amazing, is -1 was on top of 10's shoulders, Preston Vance, and the camera pans in with him on his shoulders, and you got a guy holding up a big white poster with Brodie Lee's face saying, "It's Wednesday, you know what that means." And I don't want to throw the picture up because I don't want to get copyrighted, but it was you got to go see it yourself. It was a beautiful thing to see. That's all I gotta say. It was freaking beautiful.
Yeah, this was a beautiful tribute. I love the way that they did it. Normally I crap all over 16-man tag team matches, but I just didn't feel right to do it tonight. I just feel like with this being in honor of Brodie Lee, I feel like nobody really should complain about this. I mean, they're doing it for the man who was supposed to debut in his hometown of Rochester, and man, what an amazing debut that would have been. Man. I mean, he still had a fantastic debut regardless, but I mean, if that Rochester crowd was there for his debut, I mean, it would have made that moment that much more special. And Brodie Lee, we go back and look at his run, and as brief as it was, man, it had to have been one of the greatest short runs you could ever see in professional wrestling. And I'm so happy AEW did right by Brodie Lee with his entire run with AEW, and just the way they've honored him ever since they did that big tribute episode right after his passing in late 2020. They've just done so right with John Huber and his family, and having -1 there and involved with the Dark Order, and having Amanda Huber out there tonight to fix all the problems for the Dark Order and send Evil Uno back in the ring so they can finish the job against HFO. I mean, you just love to see it, man. I mean, if you're a fan of this sport and you're a fan of Brodie Lee, and you're a fan of just like big sentimental moments like this, I mean, it's just you can't say anything negative. And I definitely don't have anything negative to say, and I don't think really anybody else does. And if you do have some negative to say, then you can go fuck yourself. But yeah, anyway though, this was a beautiful tribute for a beautiful guy in Brodie Lee. I did hear that they did a documentary for him that was premiering in Rochester. Yep. I really hope that gets shared more out to the public. I do, because I really want to watch that. So.
And I'm about to read something as well, as right like 2 hours before the show, it was announced that Amanda Huber and Brodie's brother Chris put together a John Huber Legacy Foundation. This is amazing. I'm about to read it to you guys right here. It says this is the press release on it. It says Rochester, New York, September 29th. On the same day, All Elite Wrestling makes its debut in John Huber's hometown of Rochester, New York. His family and friends are announcing the creation of the John Huber Legacy Foundation. The foundation will focus on providing support to people in creative fields who have not taken the next step in their career because of family obligations. John almost gave up his dream of wrestling because of his family, said Amanda Huber, but he got the call to move up to WWE while we were in the hospital with our first child. I can't think of a better way of honoring his commitment to family and his career than to help other people who are facing the same dilemma. Beginning in 2022, the foundation will select a group of creative individuals to support with resources, connections, practical skills, and direct funding. The cohort will meet throughout the year to learn from experts in areas including business planning, artist management, public relations, brand management, finances, and IP law. And then it goes on to say, um, the foundation will announce its first application round in early 2022. I mean, that's amazing, man. That is that is absolutely amazing. Reading that press release that I just read, I mean, it really like stuff like yeah, we got the amazing storytelling and the amazing wrestling on AEW every single week. That's a guaranteed. But another reason why we love them so much, another reason why I love them so much, is because of shit like this, man. This is really amazing. Like stuff like this, the honoring of Owen Hart. I mean, how can you not love Tony Khan in AEW?
It just doesn't make sense for anybody to even be against any of this. It really doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have to be the most heartless individual to have anything against what all they're doing with Brodie Lee, his family, the foundation that they've started up now, and the whole and Owen Hart, honoring Owen Hart and everything. I mean, if you're a true professional wrestling fan, or if you're just as a decent human being, you should look at this and be just amazed by how like wonderful this is for everybody involved and how wonderful it makes AEW look as a company. And it's all the more reason why I love AEW so much is because they're truly classy individuals that always look for the best, with situations like this, and always look to help in any way they can. And it's just great, man. It really is. I'm just so thankful for a company like AEW, man. And like I mentioned, they've done so right by John Huber and honoring him, and by honoring his legacy, and honoring his family too. It's just phenomenal. And yeah, I'm just such a happy AEW fan. I just really am.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes me ecstatic to be an AEW fan. And when we look back at the unfortunate passing of Brodie Lee and the Brodie Lee tribute show, the final episode of 2020. All of this entire situation had a strong influence on the pro wrestling business and people coming back and going to AEW. One of CM Punk's reasons of wanting to come to AEW and wanting to be in AEW is because of how tight-lipped and how secretive AEW was about Brodie Lee's, his health. Because you didn't hear, you didn't hear Sean Ross Sapp, you didn't hear Meltzer, you didn't hear any of these guys reporting Brodie Lee is not healthy. He's sick. You didn't hear any of that. They kept it all to themselves. So that was one of Punk's reasons. And then one of Brian's reasons was the way they just stopped everything that they were doing with storylines, postpone it to a week, and do the tribute show to Brodie Lee. And now, doing all that stuff, it has a huge influence on a lot of people in wrestling. So
Yeah,
I don't
it really
I don't
is.
I don't want to get too teary while saying this. So
Yeah,
you can
I
tell,
understand.
tell in my voice. So
Yeah, no, it's emotional for all of us, man. For all of us who are there to see Brodie wrestle, and I think I'm happy I had the honor to see him wrestle live in person many years ago. I wish I could have known the person that he was. From all the stories I've heard about Brodie Lee, man, it just makes me happy. It warms my heart to hear it. I'm sure he was just such an awesome dude, and I'm sure if I had met him in person, he would have just been the most cool dude to be around. And there's a lot of people in the business I'd like to meet, but Brodie Lee is one that I would have loved to have encountered. Because just how hearing just from friends and family of Brodie how influential he was, and like you mentioned, Joseph, I mean CM Punk. One of his reasons for jumping to AEW is because of how they handled the whole Brodie Lee situation. I think even Bryan Danielson even mentioned something about how the way they handled Brodie Lee's situation was also an influence on him into coming into AEW because they did it in the best way possible. And you just don't see that happen very often. But AEW, they really know how to really know how to operate with stuff like that. And they just, they know to, with stuff as personal and as private as that, they want to just keep it,
yeah,
as down low as they can, just make sure, because it's very, it's very private, very personal stuff. I mean, it's not stuff you really, depending on who you are, you don't really want that stuff to go out into the open and
no.
get aired out so publicly. I mean, because it's so personal, it's very heartbreaking. And so AEW is just done right by Brodie Lee, man. And tonight, dude, it was just a wonderful tribute paid to him throughout the entire episode. I mean, not just with the 16-man tag. I felt like the whole episode was just a great tribute to him.
Absolutely. And it just sucks that, Brodie wasn't able to compete in front of his hometown in Rochester. It just really sucks. So, it was a beautiful tribute tonight. And the Dark Order, they got the win in the 16-man tag. But we spent a long time talking about Brodie Lee. We had two long back-to-back segments. This one is going to be short. Dan Lambert and the Men of the Year came out. Lambert cut a promo. Scorpio Sky cut a promo. Ethan Page cut a great promo. I want to hear more of him. I don't want Dan Lambert taking away mic time. Even though I like the guy, I like Dan Lambert and what he's doing. I don't want him taking mic time away from Ethan Page. But listen, besides that, Dan Lambert is his goal is to get these guys over, and I feel like he's doing his job right now. And I felt like they needed that win on Friday night over Jericho and Hager, and I'm glad they got that win. So good on them. They weren't really doing much after the Darby Allin feud. Now they look like they're a future stable on Dynamite right now.
Yeah, I could see a future tag time match probably play out for the end of the year as we go forward. Yeah, Paige's promo. I mean, the way I heard those what chants during this whole segment, man. The way Ethan Page just shut down those what chants. You don't see that happen very often in wrestling, where a wrestler just shuts down what chants. Ethan Page literally had the ability to completely shut up the crowd of Rochester night when they were doing those what chants. And it was honestly a great thing to see because I get so tired of those chants. It's probably the most tired chant in all of professional wrestling. I really don't want to see more of that in AEW. Please, AEW fans, enough with the what chants. We don't need more of that. So, but Ethan Page though, he did a great job with this promo. I thought Sky did a solid job with this promo as well. It kind of makes me think. Yeah, I mentioned this on Twitter. Maybe they don't really need Dan Lambert because they're so good on the mic. It's like, heck, I just let them roll with their promos, but. Dan Lambert does add another element to their gimmick, and we'll see how things play out with them. I thought the match with Jericho and Hager on Rampage was a good tag match for what it was. It did put over Men of the Year. I'm still not completely sold on them as a tag team. They're both great professional wrestlers. I do enjoy their promo work. I do enjoy their in-ring work. But again, I don't know. I mean, as a tag team, I don't know what it's going to take for me to really start clicking with them. but it's not like my least favorite thing. I do think that they, they're good in their own rights, but we'll have to see how this pans out more. I just hope we don't really get more of the UFC guys getting involved and start wrestling. I just rather
Hold
not.
on.
I just rather not see that, man. That's the
Hold on.
UFC stuff.
Hold on. Could we see, after Friday, could we see Chris Jericho one-on-one at Full Gear against Jorge Masvidal?
Hey, I will say this though. I mentioned this on Twitter Friday. I did love that running knee he gave Jericho.
Oh,
That was a solid V trigger he gave to Jericho. I got to admit, I got to give Masvidal credit, man. He made that knee look completely wicked on Chris Jericho. So I will give him that. Do I want to see a match with Masvidal and Jericho Full Gear? I might have to pass on that. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to take a pass. I'd probably rather see Jericho in another program if they do set him up for something else. But well, you got this Man of the Year stuff with Dan Lambert. We'll see where this goes. So
yeah, Jericho in a program with Dan Lambert. That's what he's in right now.
there's the dream match. That's your dream match right there. Dan Lambert and Chris Jericho. There you go. That's the matchup for Full Gear.
Next match we had Penelope Ford and you got, could you imagine Dan Lambert taking
No, if this were WWE, we'd see that match. No doubt about it. We'd see Dan Lambert versus Chris Jericho. Yeah.
It's like watching Paul Heyman wrestle.
I don't want to see Paul Heyman wrestle. That's something I can't even imagine. What would he even wear to the ring? That's what I want to know. Like, good lord, can you see Paul Heyman in tights? Yeah, I'll pass. Yeah.
Talk about this women's match, dude.
Yeah, the Ty J versus the Bunny and Penelope Ford. I wanted to say this. I mentioned this on Twitter. I love the Mortal Kombat intro to Ty J's theme song. That was a nice touch. I'm a big Mortal Kombat guy, so hearing that in their theme song was really cool. This was a good tag team match. I thought Ty and Anna Jay looked really, really good. Ty Conti is so great, dude. She has gotten so much better. Like, I mean, she is like one of the most fun women to watch in the ring. Anna Jay, she like ever since she's come back from injury, she's looked a lot better too. Love the matching gear that they wore as well. I thought that was a nice touch as well. But yeah, for what this was, I thought this was good. I thought this was very fun, and the right women won in this match with Ty J getting the win over the Bunny and Penelope Ford.
Absolutely. So, I'm reading Twitter right now, and some people are saying next week on Dynamite we're getting Sammy Guevara versus Bobby Fish for the TNT Championship.
Really?
I saw.
Wow.
I just saw a tweet. Someone said, "OMG, Sammy Guevara has accepted Bobby Fish's challenge for next week," and Sammy cut a promo and accepted the challenge.
That is pretty sick. Wow. Okay. I will say I did see Bobby Fish issue that challenge. I did see the tweet of him issuing that challenge. I know Bobby Fish just recently signed with MLW. He is a MLW wrestler, but man, Sammy Guevara's first defense being against the former Undisputed Era member Bobby Fish, man. That's quite a matchup if you ask me, man. Bobby Fish looking pretty good in his post WWE days, I will say, man. That is going to be a really, really solid matchup.
And the black strap is back.
Oh, love that. That's awesome.
Dude, we're gonna talk about all of that.
Gosh, man, we got a loaded card next week.
We gotta get to this segment. MJF and Darby. By the way, out of nowhere, Leo Rush is all elite. I mean,
Leo Rush out of nowhere. Yeah, we just casually see a Leo Rush promo package. I'm like, okay, well, didn't see that. AEW is just casually dropping in, just like, hey, oh, here's something really like special, but we're gonna casually drop it on you just because hey, we love you. So,
bro, I thought this guy retired.
He did. I've heard a whole bunch of talk about he's retired a few other times. I don't know what the deal is really with that, to be honest. But hey, Leo Rush is in All Elite Wrestling. I'm happy about that, man. Leo Rush is a great young talent to have on the roster, and I hope he's here to stay with AEW. I think this is a really solid pickup.
And then we had that MJF. I don't want to hurry on MJF, but I want to talk about the Sammy Miro match so bad. So MJF's out there. He got a promo. He's got 4 young cats in AEW. Jungle Boy beat him. Sammy Guevara beat him. And he's like, and then Darby Allin, whatever. So he skipped Darby Allin. And then later on, Darby Allin came out. And MJF got personal with Darby Allin. Because this guy, I mean, we say it every week. This man has absolutely no chill. And this week, he mentioned the ride that Darby took with his uncle one night and getting into a bad car crash and his uncle dying from that. So MJF he has no chill, legit. And he's like, what are you going to do? Punch me? And he's like, nah, keep talking. And MJF doesn't talk. So I think we're building to an MJF Darby Allin match at Full Gear. And if that's the case, man, take my money. I don't know who wins. We'll figure that out closer to Full Gear. But if we're getting MJF and Darby Allin, I'm not complaining. I am not complaining.
No, me neither, man. They've already kickstarted this feud in a crazy way, man. MJF, like we have mentioned before, guy has no chill, man. I mean, quite a few one-liners from him in this promo, man. I mean, for one, he's got our good old boy Bruce Pritchard on speed dial. He's got our boy Bruce Pritchard on speed dial, Joseph. I mean, that's pretty nerve-wracking there. Also, he mentioned how Tony Khan is in his top 2 cons, and I don't know who that other con might be, but I think I have a pretty good idea who the other con might be out of the 2. But MJF, and of course, the line he dropped on Darby about the car accident that Darby got into it with his uncle many years ago, and how, golly, the freaking bombshell he dropped, man, the wrong man died that night. Like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, MJF, I swear, it's every single week. It's like this guy's getting, like, he's like becoming Satan more and more as the weeks just continue to go. Like, first he's like, stepping on the ground, yelling at Brian Pillman in hell. He's calling Brian Pillman Jr.'s mom Methany. I mean, like, what else is this guy gonna freaking just, like, what other lines is this guy gonna continue to cross, man? I mean, this guy. I mean, you cannot find heels like this and like this dastardly these days. You really can't, man. MJF is just, he is a master of all masters of being a heel, man. It's unbelievable. But looks like this is the feud going forward with Darby Allin, MJF going into Full Gear. Sign me up. I'm all for it, man. You got Darby Allin, one of the most over big faces, going up against MJF, one of the most over heels. I mean, you got a recipe for success right there, man. It's going to be a phenomenal match. Who wins? It's too early to tell, but we will see as the weeks go by leading into Full Gear how this story will pan out. But, man, I'm just happy we're going to get a great young up-and-coming talent versus another young up-and-coming talent, man. It's going to be, 2 young guns going at it, man. It's going to be a phenomenal watch, that's for sure.
Very quickly, before we get into the main event, we're going to go over the lineups on Friday and next Wednesday. Friday night on Rampage, we got Jack Evans and Orange Cassidy, hair versus hair. Nyla Rose, Jay Cargill, Thunder Rose, triple threat. It's a no DQ match. I think that's going to be a fun match. I really do. And then the big one, Nick Jackson and Bryan Danielson, the headliner on Rampage. So Friday should be interested. I am not. I am gonna be here Friday night to talk about Rampage with Wesley Williams and Cameron Johnson. We are back on Friday night talking about Rampage. Then next Wednesday in Philadelphia, we got a 8-man tag main event of Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Adam Cole against Danielson, Christian Cage, and the Jurassic Express. I thought we were going to get this last week at Grand Slam, but nope. We are getting it next Wednesday in Philly. And then also Serena Deeb against Hikaru Shida. They're both finally back on Dynamite. That should be a great match. Yeah. And then a casino ladder match. I thought this was exclusively to pay-per-views. We're getting it next week, and the winner is receiving a world title match against Kenny Omega. So, very quickly, Does Hangman Page come back next week, or do we get an interim winner and we get we get a television title defense for Omega before he faces Danielson again at Full Gear? I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
tough to call. It's really, really tough to call. Honestly, I mean, I feel like next week, ideally, you'd have Paige come back. But again, we don't know what's going on with Paige. We don't know if he's ready to come back yet or not. We'll have to see, man. But, man, what a pop that would be if he's the last person announced for that match. And he comes out maybe as like a surprise entrant. Because remember how Brian Cage, when they had that last Casino ladder match, he was the final entrant in that match. It was a surprise entrant. Brian Cage made his AEW debut. I feel like we could see that happen again, maybe with a Hangman Page return. So I feel like it's looking pretty likely, but at the same time, we don't know. We could see this match just be an interim for Kenny before we get into Full Gear. I mean, paying the fans on free television with a great TV World Championship main event. I mean, that would be awesome to watch as well. But we'll see, though, man. But I think ideally you'd have Page come back next week, but we don't know what's going on with Hangman at the moment. But, man, when he does return, though, it is going to be the loudest of pops. I guarantee you that.
And then finally, folks, the main event. Been waiting to talk about this all night. Next to the opener, the middle with the Dark Order and Brodie Lee, and then that tribute, and then the main event. Sammy Guevara and Miro. I thought, I thought this was Miro's best match in AEW. I thought this was better than the Darby Allin match when he actually won the TNT Championship. This was a great match, a great story. Miro worked over Sammy the entire match. Sammy had a chain on. Miro freaking was pulling it in his mouth and all that stuff. Sammy going after that neck at the end. Miro was taking off all the turnbuckles. When he got to the last one, Fuego was there. And Miro laughed and just punched him. Then he took off the turnbuckle. He went after Sammy. Sammy gave him a jumping knee, and then slammed Miro's head into the turnbuckle. 630. GTH, that's his finisher. And huge pop. Sammy Guevara is the new TNT champion. He's hugging Fuego. Confetti goes off. The baby faces come out. I saw on Twitter Dante Martin, I think the Dark Order, Santana and Ortiz, Matt Sydal. We're all out there to congratulate him. And like the news I just broke a couple minutes ago, next week in Philly for the TNT Championship, Sammy Guevara versus Bobby Fish. Holy shit, dude.
Oh man, it's wild, man. This is I love this timeline of professional wrestling so much, dude. I swear we're getting dream matches out of the ass every single freaking week, dude. It's
Whoa,
awesome.
time out. A half of the Undisputed Era is going to be in the same building on the same show next week. I just thought about that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Who would have thought we'd see that in 2021? Half of the Undisputed Era is competing on AEW television next week. That's pretty wild to think about, man. But this main event, though, an awesome main event, man. And like you said, Joseph, I thought as well this was Miro's best match that he's had in AEW in this run. And as much as it pains me to see Miro lose that TNT championship, especially with the run that he was on, man, I felt this moment was just right. This was the right moment. And Sammy Guevara has been with AEW since day one. I mean, he literally competed in the first ever match in AEW history, man. I mean, he's literally been there since day one. And he has worked his ass off to get to this moment, man. And I felt like this was such a well-deserved moment for him, man. A new TNT champion, the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara, man. It's wonderful to see. I mean, Sammy Guevara, it's like MJF mentioned in his promo earlier in the night. I mean, Sammy Guevara is one of the four pillars when it comes to the future of professional wrestling, man. And Sammy Guevara is right in there with the other three, with Jungle Boy Darby and MJF. And You know, Sammy, man, he's such a key piece with the future of professional wrestling, with the future of AEW, man. And I'm just so happy for the guy. You know, I mean, he really did deserve this moment. I love the fact that they ended the show on a happy note. I felt like with this match main eventing that they were definitely going to put the title on Sammy. I had no doubts about it. I was like, there's no way they're going to have Miro retain to end the show. They were going to have a happy moment, man. Because AEW is all about giving the fans happy moments. And I'm very much looking forward to this TNT title run for Sammy Guevara. And honestly, we got to pay homage to Miro, man. I mean, Miro, what a hell of a run he had as TNT champion. As God's favorite champion. I mean, Miro took that title and took it to even bigger heights, man. I mean, he really did. And AEW was done right by Miro. I'm happy they finally, pulled the trigger on him when they did. And they got him out of that whole thing with Kip Sabian and stuff. And they got him. They got a title on him, and just again, 150 days he was a TNT champion, man. What 150 days it was. But now it's time for a new era for the TNT Championship, man. Sammy Guevara, his reign has begun, and man, next week, Sammy Guevara, Bobby Fish, 1-on-1 in the first ever defense for Sammy Guevara and that TNT Championship, man. What a matchup that's gonna be, man. What a card we have for next week, dude. I mean, AEW, man, continues to bring the hits every single week, dude. You just love to see it.
Bro, they couldn't have saved that match for the week after. I mean, come on now.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy times, man. But I'm happy. I'm happy for you, man, dude. Yeah, you're going to go to an AEW show live before I do, at least. So I'm happy for you, man. I can't wait till I get to go again. I let it know on Twitter that unfortunately I won't be able to make it to Full Gear because it's just too far out of the way for me. But hey, regardless, I'm still going to enjoy the show very much from the comfort of my own home with my boys. But it was just too far to travel. But hey, if AEW, if you're listening, please come back to Memphis at some point, man. You guys can fill out the form. I know you can. If the FedEx form only fits 18,000, I know for a fact AEW can fill it up at this point. So I'm really, really hoping that they can come back to Memphis, and I hope they can fill out the form this time around. So AEW, if you're listening, man, please come back to Memphis as soon as you can. But Joseph, man, when you go to your AEW shows, I really hope you enjoy yourself, man. You are very fortunate, and I really am happy for you, man. And I mean, it's so awesome to see our other friends in the community get to come to go to the shows as well. I mean, with DJ and with Indigo, man. I mean, it's awesome to see, and AEW just continues to give us quality professional wrestling on a weekly basis. I mean, it's what we talk about every week, man. I mean, it's always positive around here when it comes to AEW, man. You're not going to hear huge complaints out of us ultimately, man, because we have a great time here, and I certainly had a great time tonight watching AEW and being right here on the Big Fight Field podcast talking AEW Dynamite.
Absolutely, I'm going to 3.
3 shows, man. Look at you, 3 shows, man. Nobody deserves it more than you, man. That's for sure.
Folks, that is going to wrap up tonight's review on the channel. Thank you all for watching the review. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Comment down below your thoughts about tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite from Rochester, New York. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from myself and Wesley Williams. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well at Colin_Joseph. Wes, where can they follow you on your socials?
You already know. Follow me at Big_Wes18 on Twitter. That is BIG_WES18. I talk about AEW Dynamite every single Wednesday night on Twitter and on here as well. And of course, I talk about AEW Rampage on Fridays. Myself, Joseph Conley, and Cameron Johnson will be back this Friday night to talk AEW Rampage. What a show we got. Somebody's losing their hair on Friday. We got a great women's triple threat set up, and we got a phenomenal match set up between Nick Jackson and Bryan Danielson, and it's going to be so much fun to talk about. So, folks, you better stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. That is very, very important. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from myself and Joseph Conley. Comment down below. What was your favorite part about tonight's show in Rochester, New York? And we will be back this Friday night to talk about AEW Rampage with our boy, Cameron Johnson. The 3-man booth is back this Friday night.
Yes, sir. Bald Orange Cassidy. Bald Orange Cat.
Or Bald Jack Evans. Don't rule it out.
I mean, Bald Orange Cassidy sounds more interesting
or Bald Adam Cole, because apparently that's what WWE wanted when they book him on the main roster. But hey, we're not talking about Adam Cole on the main roster. We're talking about Adam Cole in AEW.
Time out before we get out of here. They wanted him to shave his hair. They wanted to change his name. They wanted to They wanted to take away the boom. They wanted to take away the Adam Cole baby. They wanted him to be a manager. And this was the best decision he has ever made in his life.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I'd say that Adam Cole fella is pretty over in AEW, man. I know we for sure are very happy to have him in the land of All Elite Wrestling, and we got way more to talk about with Adam Cole in the weeks, the months, the years to come, because Adam Cole's got himself a nice long career ahead of him, and he's already accomplished so much. But folks, we will be back this Friday night, so don't you dare miss out on what myself, Cameron Johnson, and Joseph Conlon have to say about AEW Rampage live from Rochester, New York.
Folks, we will see you Friday night. I will see you tomorrow with the Colts Dolphins preview. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy.